Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Bruce Frisco. It is Monday, the 1st of December. This is CTV News. Tonight, a warrant issued. Court seeks 5th suspect in conspiracy to murder case. A new tourism strategy, how to bring visitors to the region year-round. And a little something for your trouble, how an order error served up cross-border kindness.
Live from our Maritime's News Center, this is CTV News. Here is Bruce Frisco.
Good evening. A warrant was issued today for the arrest of a man wanted in connection with a conspiracy to murder case. Murder the son of an elderly couple who were killed themselves in Dieppe in 2019. The man is one of 5 people charged in the case, and the others all faced a judge today. CTV's Derek Haggett has more.
5 people, 4 men and 1 woman, charged with conspiracy to commit murder were scheduled to make a court appearance here at the Moncton Law Courts this morning. However, only 4 did. Jansen Brian Baker, Jesse Todd Logue, Nicholas Daniel Bain, Christopher Allen Lennon, and Monique Alicia Boyer were charged on November 24th with conspiracy to commit the murder of Silvio Sagne, the son of Bernard and Rose Marie Sagne. The bodies of 78-year-old Bernard Sagne and 74-year-old Rose Marie Sagne were found in their Dieppe home on September 7, 2019. Police ruled their deaths as homicides. 29-year-old Jansen Brian Baker of Moncton was charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder on September 7, 2023, and is scheduled to go to trial in January. Baker and Lennon made in-person court appearances today, while Logue and Boyer appeared via video teleconference. Bain, who wasn't in custody and who was a no-show, had a warrant issued for his arrest. The 4 accused who were in court will remain in custody and will return on January 5th. The Crown objected to their release. Silvio Sagne died in 2023, but police say foul play was not suspected in his death. Around 10 supporters of the Sagne family were in court this morning. Afterwards, they spoke briefly with reporters outside the courthouse, but politely declined interview requests. Derek Haggett, CTV News, Moncton.
A Halifax area youth has been sentenced for fatally stabbing a high school student last year. The 16-year-old, who was 14 at the time of the attack, received the maximum sentence for a young offender: 4 years in custody, 3 years of conditional supervision. The overall sentence, though, was reduced by a year for time served. Back in January, the youth pleaded guilty to second-degree murder in the death of 16-year-old Ahmed Al-Marak, who was fatally stabbed in the parkade of the Halifax Shopping Centre in April of 2024. And a man has been charged with second-degree murder in connection with a homicide in the north end of Halifax last week. Last Wednesday morning, police responded to calls of an injured man on Gottingen Street. He was located and rushed to hospital, but later died. The victim has been identified as 59-year-old Troy Clayton. Over the weekend, police announced 30-year-old Aaron James Johnson had been charged with second-degree murder. He appeared in court today.
Get the Maritime's top stories, breaking news alerts, and watch live. Download the CTV News app.
A campaign promise in New Brunswick for a large discount at the gas pumps did not materialize today, and the Premier isn't very happy about it. Attending the announcement of a new addiction center in the Kingston Peninsula, Susan Holt expressed frustration that the Energy and Utilities Board essentially reversed a piece of her government's legislation that would have removed the cost of the carbon adjuster. That would save drivers about 8 cents a litre.
It's been clear that the formula doesn't accurately cover costs that haven't been proven, and New Brunswickers deserve a break. And we were disappointed that the EUB didn't recognize that and just chose to apply a figure we've already told them is wrong to the moment at the time.
The board is currently reviewing its decision. We'll apparently have a final answer on if the costs will change sometime in February. The Premier says the province is considering its next steps. Some good news on the labor front from Moncton tonight. City Council there has ratified a new collective agreement for 200 outside workers. CUPE members, including truck drivers, laborers, mechanics, rec operations, animal care staff, and rink attendants. The previous deal expired 11 months ago. Talks began in October of 2024. The agreement includes a 13.5% wage hike over 4 years, as well as increases to shift premiums, standby premiums, and the boot allowance. Licensed tradespeople will collect even more under the deal. U.S.-made booze proved to be a popular item at some Nova Scotia liquor stores today. After being removed and locked up in protest to the start of the trade war, thousands of bottles were turned today for a quick sell-off to help some local charities. CTV's Jonathan McGuinness has more.
The American booze wasn't staying on shelves long.
The first Saturday in May is the Kentucky Derby.
And with 3 bottles in his bag, Jerry Wombolt is making sure he has some bourbon on hand for the first leg of the Triple Crown.
Well, I left this morning to go to the liquor commission that I normally go to, and it was packed when I got there, and that was just a little after 10 o'clock. And the bourbon section, there had to be 10 or 15 people waiting for the bourbons to come out.
U.S. wines were also a popular target for shoppers.
I do understand they were selling fast. I got the very last bottle of my favorite, McManus Petit Shiraz.
The American alcohol on sale today was previously purchased and has been sitting in storage since it was yanked off store shelves back on March 4th. And as of right now, the province doesn't have any plans to buy any more. The profits from the booze sale, expected to be around $4 million, will be given to community food programs like Shabukto Connections.
It's going to allow us to continue our food supports along with enhancing our food supports.
Executive Director Christina Carter says the organization will be getting $200,000. The timing of the support means programs will continue.
Right now we're able to give out 200 produce packs every month, and it provides folks with fresh produce and bread and eggs, and we would have had to cut that back down to maybe 50 a month.
According to the NSLC, there were 600,000 bottles in storage. The U.S. alcohol could be delayed in reaching some stores that couldn't keep it on site. Jonathan McGuinness, CTV News, Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia.
Despite more money in the system, a new survey offers a kind of bleak assessment of how New Brunswickers feel about the state of health care in the province. The Abacus poll, commissioned by the Paramedic Association of New Brunswick, found 46% of respondents felt the quality of health care in New Brunswick had worsened over the last year. Still, the majority felt ambulance and paramedic service was good or excellent, and many would be happy to see those people playing a greater role in the health system.
The comfort in these potential changes and seeing paramedics serve in expanded roles in the healthcare system cuts right across the province, across regions and across other demographic groups, including voting groups.
They have the ability to be many things to many different people, and they do it daily. But I think it's a hugely underutilized service and system.
We reached out. The Department of Health, though, provided no comment on the survey today. People who run Mad Canada are urging Prince Edward Islanders to stop being so polite. Turns out too many Islanders hesitate to call 911 when they suspect an impaired driver, and Mothers Against Drunk Drivers wants that to stop. PEI has some of the highest impaired driving rates in Canada, nearly 3 times the national average, in fact. Victims include Jacob Simmons, who died by a drunk driver in 2020.
Jacob was our son. He was 27 years old when he was killed. But before that, he was a really good son, a great friend to a lot of people. Very into fitness and so on, played a lot of sports. It was a huge part of our lives.
One of the things that we wanted to make sure is that the human cost is out there.
MAD says an average of 9 impaired driving charges are laid every hour in Canada. That works out to about 215 a day. It is once again prime time for pop-up Christmas markets around the region, offering shoppers a unique and local option away from the shopping malls. There were a couple of them in Fredericton open yesterday, both proving to be timely, and not just because it's the countdown to Christmas. There's also a renewed buy local movement again.
I think it's important that we all support local. By having these markets, we can ensure that, you know, the people in our area that are very talented can kind of boast their talents.
We're having phenomenal response. Yeah, it's like we're selling out every market. You get your product out there, people get a chance to try it.
Both the markets included a charitable connection as well, with donations being accepted for homeless shelters and hospice. Fredericton timely as well, because tomorrow is technically Giving Tuesday. Okay, still to come tonight, Kaylin's full forecast, and we'll explore the increasingly blurry lines between shopping events like Black Friday and Giving Tuesday. Coming up next, though, a tourism target.
It is going to take a kind of a culture shift, and there's also some policies that impede people staying open longer.
How do you make Nova Scotia more attractive to visitors in the cold months? Experts looking into that. Details next.
I don't know. Mornings with Aaron and Peter.
Is there a food that you think tastes a little better stale than fresh? I have one tomorrow at 7.
And Moose 20K Holiday continues. Your first keyword of the morning at 6 a.m.
Nova Scotia's slogan as Canada's ocean playground is well earned, of course, but it's not necessarily a place you'd want to play at in the wintertime. Still, there is a movement underway to change that. CTV's Jesse Thomas has the details.
Tourism is big business in Nova Scotia. Industry leaders say it brought in $3.5 billion in revenue last year and supported more than 55,000 jobs. And at this year's tourism summit, they're looking at ways to grow tourism year-round.
It's the largest really resource sector in the province. It's larger than fisheries, farming and agriculture combined. Not to diminish those, but certainly its impact is far-reaching. At $3.5 billion, I don't think any sector comes close to that.
The industry and government have just released a 5-year plan. A major part of that is to create a year-round tourism strategy.
It is going to take a kind of a culture shift, and there's also some policies that impede people staying open longer.
A major challenge to reaching the 365-day goal will be hiring more people. There's a worker shortage, as is, and the sector relies on seasonal workers.
There is clearly a competition for young people and other workers. The demographic has shifted such that there's just many fewer to draw from. There's also massive changes in the economy with other sectors being prioritized.
Filling frontline jobs like entry-level positions isn't the challenge. It's the skilled workers who are in demand, and where smaller rural centres are struggling to fill vacancies.
They're not necessarily migrating to some of these centres because it lacks the infrastructure, lacks housing, it lacks transportation, it lacks some of the kinds of services that they may support or want, which is why they go to the larger centres.
The tourism summit will get underway tomorrow, and the industry believes this year-round push could help drive revenue to $5 billion annually by 2030. That won't be easy, but part of the 5-year plan is this new roadmap to get government and industry working better together. Jesse Thomas, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Jesse. Time for a quick break. When we return, your complete maritime weather forecast. It was kind of a mixed bag sort of day out there today, and some weather heading our way tomorrow. Kaylin has the details next. Monday night, first day of December. I don't quite know how we got to the first day of December so quickly, but here we are. And I was reading online, people describing this system arriving tomorrow. Some are saying it's like a weather bomb.
Yeah, that's right. So that's meeting a technical definition meteorology, a fall of the central pressure of the storm system by 24 millibars or more in 24 hours or less. It's what most of our nor'easters do during the wintertime, and this is very much a nor'easter-like storm system. So we might as well talk about it because it is going to be bringing some active weather to the Maritime. So taking a look at our weather systems map, where is this starting from? Starting all the way down around the Gulf states is a weak low pressure system, but that low pressure system is going to be making its way to the eastern seaboard of the United States. There it is going to be energized by the difference between some very cold air over the continent and warmer air over the Atlantic. That's going to provide the energy for that system to strengthen into a storm. So taking a look at our timeline for cloud cover and precipitation, no concerns about that storm system for tonight. Instead, tonight is just going to be very cold across the Maritimes. We're feeling some of that polar air. It's likely to be the coldest night of the season so far for the region, so very cold start to the day on Tuesday with increasing cloudiness. By Tuesday afternoon, snow is going to begin to develop in New Brunswick. That snow is going to be very light for northern areas of New Brunswick and a little bit steadier down around southern parts of that province. Then for Nova Scotia, it'll be a mixture of snow and rain developing late afternoon into Tuesday evening, and the rain snow line with this weather system is going to set up right around northern areas of Nova Scotia. So areas to the north of that line remain mostly as snow. Along that line, it's going to be a mixture of snow and rain. And to the south of that line towards Atlantic coastal areas of Nova Scotia, mostly rain. So where does that leave us with snowfall amounts for this one? Well, it looks like the snowiest areas are going to be Prince Edward Island into the southeast of New Brunswick and then into northern areas of Nova Scotia. Cumberland, Colchester counties, parts of Pictou, Antigonish counties, in around the Minas Basin, down into the Annapolis Valley and the Cape Breton Highlands. Towards Atlantic coastal Nova Scotia, mostly rain. So that's going to limit accumulations there. But if you're in the Halifax area and you drive out to the airports, right around the airport, you could start seeing some amounts of around 10 centimeters or more, and then higher totals as you get into some of the roads and into the Annapolis Valley area, Cumberland, Colchester counties, so the usual spots. You got to watch out for very snowy conditions, Cobequid Pass, Mount Tom, parts of the North Shore, up in the Cape Breton Highlands, and then Prince Edward Island, the southeast New Brunswick, 10 to 20 centimeters. Snowfall warnings have been issued for Cumberland, Colchester counties, Pictou, Antigonish counties, and the Annapolis Valley in Nova Scotia, and a rainfall warning out for Yarmouth and Shelburne counties. Other parts of the Maritimes remain underneath special weather statements calling for snowfall amounts 10 to 15 centimeters in the south of New Brunswick and Prince Edward Island, and the potential for rain totals in other areas of Nova Scotia of 30 to 50 millimeters. Winds are going to be high and gusty with this weather system as well. Not so much on Tuesday, but really pick up Tuesday night into Wednesday. And on Wednesday, it's when we could get into some north and northeast gusts. It could peak for parts of the region between 60 and 90 kilometers per hour. Low temperatures for tonight, very cold across the region. Most lows headed several degrees below the freezing mark. A number of communities, especially in New Brunswick, down to the minus double digits for tonight. And then highs for tomorrow in the north of New Brunswick between -5 and -8. In central and southern areas of New Brunswick with high temperatures tomorrow, mostly in the range of around -4 to +1, -6 at Heartland. Prince Edward Island for tomorrow with afternoon high temperatures between -2 and +1. In eastern areas of Nova Scotia and Cape Breton, it's highs between 0 and 5 degrees. And same thing goes for the North Shore and Eastern Shore. Northern and central areas of Nova Scotia with high temperatures between 1 and 5 degrees, except -1 at Amherst. The Annapolis Valley for tomorrow with a high of around +1. On the south shore of Nova Scotia, high temperatures between around 3 and 5 degrees. Taking a look at the 7-day outlook for New Brunswick. So in behind this weather system, we have another round of very cold air moving in. That's coming in Wednesday night into Thursday and Thursday night into Friday. So this first week of December, it's going to be a cold one. And then a mix of sun and cloud after that for the start of the weekend, and a fresh round of colder air moving in Sunday night into Monday of next week. For Nova Scotia, we're contending with this mixture of snow, rain, and high winds Tuesday night into Wednesday. And then after that, flurries in the forecast for Thursday. It gets quite cold Thursday night into Friday. Temperatures moderate just a little bit for the weekend with a mix of sun and cloud, but then another round of colder air moves in Sunday night into Monday. And for Prince Edward Island in the forecast, we've got snow developing late in the day on Tuesday, continuing into Wednesday. Again, could be 10 to 20 centimeters for parts of PEI. Flurries in the forecast for Thursday. Very cold on Friday. Mix of sun and cloud on the weekend, and very cold to start next week. Bruce.
Thank you, sir. We'll double check the wake-up weather before the end of the broadcast. In the meantime, please stay with us. There is much more to come.
The #1 morning show in Halifax. Turk, Megan, and Amateur Alex. And home to the biggest artists. Halifax's #1 hit music station. 101.3 Virgin Radio.
If you've been shopping up a storm over the last few days, of course you're not alone. Bargain hunters were out in full force on Black Friday and then over the weekend. And of course today, a lot of people were on their computers hunting online for Cyber Monday. But as CTV's Vanessa Wright shows us tonight, it is getting harder to tell where one shopping event ends and another one begins.
After a short 2-day break, shoppers hit the malls once again, this time hoping to cash in on Cyber Monday.
We've only just arrived, but we've got a jacket already, 60% off. I feel great about that. I wasn't looking for a jacket.
Retail experts say Canadians are expected to spend about $240 today, up 20% from last year.
People are still preferring sort of 60-40 to shop online, and the best deals, usually typically 25 to 30% on average are on Black Friday and Cyber Monday.
Though small businesses don't typically participate in Black Friday and Cyber Monday promotions, they're glad to see more traffic coming their way because of it.
Especially from mid-November through to Christmas, online sales are through the roof here. Lots of people shopping from across the country, around the world, but majority from across Canada, especially with what's happening economically. People want to remain Canadian and they're shopping in country.
But whether they're shopping for Christmas gifts or everyday essentials, consumers are always ready to snag a deal wherever they can.
There's some good deals out there. You just have to take your time and have a look around.
Vanessa Wright, CTV News, Halifax.
Thank you, Vanessa. Time for one final break tonight. Coming up, a restaurant order error turns into kind of a nice surprise for a local eatery. First, though, it's your wake-up weather. Here's a live look at Moncton, where it's currently -6. Kaylin Mitchell with everything you need to know for Tuesday morning. Coming up next. It is technically now the second day of December, which means it's Tuesday morning, and the best way to kick off a Tuesday morning is the wake-up weather.
Yeah, and buckle up for the morning hours. It's going to be a very cold start to the day for all three maritime provinces. Early morning temperatures several degrees below zero, some into the minus double digits. In the afternoon, it remains cold to chilly across the region as cloud cover increases, and the first of the snow makes an appearance in New Brunswick. Remember, it's Tuesday evening, night, and into Wednesday that the inclement weather really ramps up for the Maritimes, with a heavy mix of snow and rain in Nova Scotia and a decent amount of snow for parts of PEI and southern areas of New Brunswick. Lighter snow in the north of that province. Bruce.
All right, thank you, sir. Well, a restaurant in West Chesapeake, Nova Scotia, received a surprise payment recently. As CTV's Mike Lamb shows us, a customer from Alabama wanted to make good on an order error.
My name's Darcy Clark, and we used to be a concrete business, the wife and I, and then we started Bentley's Burgers and Fries after we retired. Named after this fine-looking specimen right here. Hey, hi, Bentley. We specialize in smashed burgers, filthy fries, pizza, and we haven't looked back since. Bentley's Burgers and Fries, how can we help you? October 1st, the phone rang. We noticed it was an out-of-town number, but we get a lot of tourists, so we took the call. I took their order, 2 burgers, 2 fries. Time went on. We figured they must have got lost, flat tire, etc. And then we thought no more of it. Somebody came that night. We gave the food out free. And a month later, I went to the mail, and this here letter was in the mail. Well, inside the letter was a old-school, old-fashioned, handwritten note. And it reads the following. I placed an order to 2 singles and 2 fries on October 1st. Was able to come get it because obviously we live in the USA. Feel bad about it, and we're going to enclose $40. Hopefully it pays for the meal. God bless. There's hope for humanity yet. You want some of that fancy ketchup? We put the letter online as a nice thing on our website saying, people are kind and nice. And then we get all these comments and stuff, and it's gone viral. So for these fine people, what we're doing is we're putting a little thing together from the East Coast here. We're going to give them a Christmas card. We got some stickers from Bentley's Burgers we're going to give them, and our seasoning from Bentley's Burgers and Fries we're going to give them, along with a photocopy of all the nice comments from people about the letter. Thank you. Thank you for choosing Bentley's today.
Nice story. That is your late news tonight. If you joined us late or you'd like to take a closer look at anything you've seen, ctvnewsatlantic.ca, right there on your screen. Always your home for news. I'm Bruce Frisco. Thank you for staying up late with us tonight. Have a good evening, and we sure hope to see you again tomorrow night.